horror films or sagas. So I want to present the first episode of the horror computer nerd. My first terrifying film I have got today. It's a terrifying film, I must say. But to some people, probably not. Now, what this channel is the fact that I shall be saying good things about movies and maybe about recommending them. Those episodes shall be presented as yes horror movies. The no side is movies I don't think go good with the sagas, of course, and that make no sense at all and have no point in watching if you are watching horror movie sagas that I have watched, and it will be for you as well. So if you watch this movie, and warning, spoilers are ahead. So if you have not seen Freddy vs. Jason, don't watch this video because this contains those spoilers. Freddy vs. Jason. Now this film was directed by Ronnie Yu, who's directed, I think, some Japan movies. It seems to be more fight themes. But he also directed another movie I may be getting around to, of The Bride of Chucky. That was also directed by Ronnie Yu. But he also went, years later in 2003, and created Freddy vs. Jason. Now you're probably wondering, is this a good film or not? If you haven't seen it, I'm going to leave it up to you. It is not the best film that maybe you should watch if you're watching maybe even. Now, I have to reference 2 horror movie sagas in this film. It's kind of hard because one is no, one is yes. This film is a crossover between Jason Voorhees, the iconic slasher who drowned, or not really drowned, at Camp Crystal Lake when he was a boy, who was teased, made fun of, and was dishonorably mental little boy. Who eventually, after he fake drowned, in the lakes of Camp Crystal Lake, his mom was furious and, of course, killed all the counselors for revenge after they had sex and weren't paying attention to her boy and weren't watching him. Freddy Krueger, of course, was a child psychopath. He killed children and brought them to his fireplace house, whatever you want to call it. Sadly, after years of killing the children in Elm Street and marking them, their parents in Elm Street came for Fred Krueger before he became Freddy Krueger. And Freddy Krueger, when he became Freddy Krueger, he turned into something much, much worse than just a child killer. After they burned him, Freddy died, but his soul was markedly black and terrorous. He turned into something much worse. When he was killing, he made a glove, 5 fingers, made of knives. His face burned to his eyes, and he wore kind of a shirt just like this I'm wearing today. But not quite. It was a sweater, but it was red and green. Instead of the gray you see, it was green. I simply had to repossess. Now, some of these videos may be longer than others, but I brought you here for quite the reason. This film was made 2003. Of course, I told you it was a crossover between the killing maniac of Camp Jason Voorhees, my true favorite. I've seen all the movies, now I'll get to that. And Freddy Krueger, well, I'm still getting there. But I have heard so much about his films. Here we go. What it is was Freddy, after years of murder, and he even tells the tale in the film. You even see some footage of him killing a little girl. And, of course, you get to see the whole story, but in a full, better view of what you may have thought. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe you were right. That's what was the good thing. But the problem was, or at least the good thing, the good side was for Freddy. He was not remembered. He was in hell. And he needed some help to be remembered. And if you know what Freddy had to do, he thought a bit outside of his box. Freddy went and woke Jason, who was dead for probably a few years, or maybe or a ton. After that, Jason was sent to Elm Street to kill the children there for revenge of Freddy's death. But as soon as Jason began killing, he couldn't stop. And officers and people were thinking of Freddy, who killed people on Elm Street in the most brutal ways possible. Veined by the arms. You name it. Freddy was unstoppable. Until now. But until a few years later, the world was fine on Elm Street until Jason came along. Fact was, they started remembering Freddy, and when you remember Freddy when he's in hell and he's gone, Freddy comes back. And he haunts you. So, it's what the whole base true is. But the story isn't done there. As a group of friends discover Freddy's back and haunting the dreams of one girl's friend, are being murdered by Freddy, some by Jason. After that, the girl knows it's Freddy who has woken up Jason and has discovered that he was tricked. Jason becomes more after that the good person in this film. Sadly, Jason had a no side to this movie. I don't know why Jason was in this. If Freddy was in it, that was it. Maybe that would have been okay. But Jason, Freddy crossover. No, Freddy's made sense after all the damage he's done. He's been in hell. And Jason, we didn't really know. Jason's last appearance in Jason X, which of course I will be getting to in later videos. You see, the last scene, this is a spoiler, don't watch this. If you even haven't seen Jason X right now, don't turn this video right off. The guy, of course, dressed up as like a spaceman. I couldn't even describe what he was dressed. See, he looked like a red spaceman. Took Jason down into Earth. And made it, at the end, of course, two Chinese people are staying at the lake. Of course, her boyfriend tells her to make a wish. And of course, I really do forget what the wish was. But of course, at the end, we get an underwater scene footage of Jason. It's a mask, I think. I'd have to go back. I think that's what happened. And that was the last we saw for Jason until 2003. 2003 just popped. Jason just was like asleep and basically just dead. And sadly, that's the film until the girl pulls Freddy out of the dream world. As if Jason fell asleep and was ready to fight Freddy. The minds of Jason would be gone. My favorite killer dead. Because he's in the world of Freddy's hands, where he could be easily killed. There is a dream fight scene. Jason is taken a lot of damage until the girl pulls him out of the dream world. But sadly, for that, she fell asleep with Jason dreamed. It became crystal like Jason was dreaming of that tragic moment in his life. Kids making fun of him, pushing him in the lake, leaving him to drown, while the counselors were having sex. Now, I should have been watching. Sadly, as the girl fell asleep, she ran to the deck to pull Jason up. Poor young Jason was pulled down by Freddy Krueger. Now, Jason started vomiting water, so they were telling he needs mouth to mouth. One of the girls there, or at least one of the friends, was about to do it. So as soon as she got close, Jason woke up and they had to run for their lives from the killer himself. After attacking, she falls asleep and memorizes her dad killing her mom, because that was the big mystery of the one main character. She thinks, and some guy thinks that she likes, that her dad killed her mom. One of the biggest things in this movie. Now, after that, after at least pulling Freddy out of the dream and into the real world, Jason has a big opportunity to just Freddy out. Now, after Jason is taking, well, at least Freddy as well, taking so much damage, so they lit the place on fire. Jason cuts Freddy's arms off, and of course, Jason falls in the water, thinking that, I think that's what happened at least. You thought that was it, Jason was gone. But no. The main character comes over with Jason's machete and cuts, basically just like the original Friday the 13th, and decapitates Freddy Krueger. And then she throws his head in the lake, and also Jason's machete to thank him. This is where the twist comes up. It seems like the end is like a really nice reality, but Jason walks out of the water, and as soon as he starts rising up more, we get to his hands. And what is he holding? The head of Freddy. And as he walks up and Freddy's head gets closer to the screen,